Hello guys and welcome back to the 2023-24 SDPN NHL season previews. Today we're going on to Connor Bedard's Chicago Blackhawks and seeing how they might look this next year. But how much improvement could they make? Where could they be in the NHL standings? And how much will that youth really change things for Chicago? Well, we're going to be finding that all out, breaking down their entire offseason to see what happens next. But first, let's talk about today's sponsor in Sports Interaction. Get in the action and bet with Sports Interaction. Tons of sports still going right now, and you can bet before the game, live and in play with all your favorite teams. Go to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN or download the app to get started. 19 plus, and please play responsibly. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks know what they want to be next year. The Connor Bedard show, while also still being near the basement in the NHL, to hopefully get a top 3 pick next year, maybe with a Cole Eisman or a Macklin Celebrini. That should be the plan for the Chicago team, and they've executed it perfectly this offseason. Getting a ton of great, solid players, but nothing that's going to really move the needle too much for them. Now, going on to the players they acquired, of course, Connor Bedard will be the biggest difference maker, already going to be a major contender for the Calder Trophy, a dominant player through and through, and a generational talent. He will make an impact year one. How much of an impact will be the biggest question, but to me, he'll be in that Calder race no matter what, even at the lowest points in the season. Then going on, you got Taylor Hall, who they acquired in the deal with the Boston Bruins. Some big, solidified top 6 talent to play with Connor Bedard, exactly what the Blackhawks needed to acquire. And you also acquired Nick Foligno, who can bring some grip, bring some maturity, and bring a lot of leadership on potentially that middle 6. Maybe on a third line could be pretty perfect there. You also got Ryan Nato, who can play pretty well as another middle 6 player. Maybe even could play on that second line. He's pretty underrated though. This last year getting 27 points in 71 games. Before that, 31 points in 74 games. Could be interesting on that third line as well. Then you got Corey Perry, all grit, all maturity on that, or not maturity, but all grit and all intensity on that Chicago bottom 6. Another player that won't bring too much, but is exactly what Chicago should have been spending money on. A depth player who can bring a lot of leadership, can bring a lot of nastiness, and hopefully protect Bedard when he needs to. Then going on to the players that they subtracted this offseason, of course, you got Jonathan Toews retiring from the game of hockey altogether. That type of face will be really an interesting missing piece for Chicago. Not having him in his first, and Connor Bedard's first year will be an interesting thing. We'll see how much that affects his rookie season. You got Ian Mitchell, who they traded away in the Taylor Hall deal. Not too much of an issue after he really hasn't developed and really hasn't come into the NHL full-time in a big role for Chicago yet. Maybe we'll see him do that with Boston, but I wouldn't really expect that. You also lose Caleb Jones, which also isn't the biggest loss defensively. And then you got Alex Stalock, who actually was pretty solid for Chicago last year, a .908 save percentage in 27 games. Played pretty well in that role. Losing him in the goaltending tandem, I think actually means a lot for them. But when we look at the players to watch, it's really highlighted by Connor Bedard in his rookie season. How well will he do? How many goals will he score? I assume it'll be pretty similar to the Austin Matthews rookie season, getting around 35, 40 goals, dominating the goal scoring department, looking pretty solid on the points too. Maybe not on a Sidney Crosby type level, because I don't think for Chicago, even with Taylor Hall, they have a lot of options around Bedard, but still pretty solid rookie season and exactly what he needed to do. I mean, if he has an Austin Matthews rookie season, nobody's complaining about that. Going on to the second player to watch, I have Lucas Reichel, who could likely be the line mate of Connor Bedard on that right wing. He's yet to take that full next step into a full season in the NHL, but when he did play last year with Chicago, looked really effective, smart, clean, and fast. And with Bedard, I think could be excellent alongside Taylor Hall as well. He could have a great rookie season too alongside Bedard. And then you got Wyatt Kaiser, who has come into this Chicago Blackhawks team last year, looked pretty solid in the depth role. He might be on that third pairing, but he's one of their most talented defensive prospects, still 20 years old. He's one to look out for as well. But let's grade the forwards, the defense, and the goaltending. And first with the forward group, this is likely the best part of this roster, but it's not going to blow you away by any means. I'm going to give their forward group a C. There's some major highlights, of course, with Bedard, Hall, Reichel, but past that, you got some solid players like Radish, Kurashev, maybe, Donato might be fine, Foligno could be solid, but nothing that's going to be all too great, especially on that middle 6. It's definitely upgraded this offseason, but it's still not going to be all that great. And then you got the defense, which will definitely be interesting. Seth Jones, solid season last year and a good rebound year. We'll see if that continues. Philip Bruce in the games he did play was extremely underrated for Chicago last year. Maybe we see Wyatt Kaiser get an even bigger opportunity, maybe on that second pairing perhaps. The defense is not going to be all that great though. D+. The best it'll be is fine. But even then, I don't really see that happen. And then we go into the goaltending, and you look at it, and yeah, it really is this bad. It really, really is this bad. It's an F. Come on. Peter Mrazek, F. But going on to the biggest question mark after the grades, it will be how much does that youth come up and make ground for the really rough roster around it? How good will Connor Bedard be? How well will Kurashev? Will players like Lucas Reichel adapt on that defense? How will Wyatt Kaiser do? Philip Roos as well. That'll be the biggest question mark. We'll still see those players do well, in my opinion, and really well, especially in Connor Bedard's case, but I still don't know if it'll be enough to truly make up for it. As for the standings predictions, I see them slightly improving, but not by much, being around 60 to 65 points on the year, 8th in the Central for sure, though. There are some people saying that Chicago might be better than a team like Arizona. There is no chance this is happening. Again, look at that goaltending. It's just not going to happen. They're still going to be bad next year, as they should be. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's preview. If you did enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let us know down below. How do you see the Chicago Blackhawks doing this next year? How do you see Connor Bedard doing in his rookie season? And how well do you see the Blackhawks taking that next step? Let us know all your thoughts. Share the video with all the hockey fans you guys know online, all the Blackhawks fans you guys know online. And of course, we will see you in the next one. 32 team previews in 32 days. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.